Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Brakatah, Kwam Yasharala. My name is Ikwatazah Tazadak. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Stick to the Script True Nation. And we are doing a new addition to the Lawgiver series, which is called Memorial of Simon. Right, so let's get into it. So Memorial of Simon is a feast day that was established and brought forth by the Israelite brother Simon. Okay, so Simon, he is a high priest from the tribe of Levi. Okay, he is also one of the 5 sons of Mattathias. Mattathias, he had 5 sons, which was Johanan, Judas Maccabeus, Simon himself, Eleazar, and Jonathan. Right? Did I say that right? Jonathan, Johanan, Eleazar, Judas, and Simon. There you go. So he was one of the 5 sons of Mattathias, and you guys can read that in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, for more understanding. This feast day is to be kept on the 23rd day of the 2nd month on a yearly base. Okay, so this wasn't a feast day that was, to be kept, a few times in history and all of that. This feast day is to be kept throughout our generations. You see what I'm saying? On a yearly base until Yahushai comes back, right? And the history of this feast can be found in the Apocrypha, First Maccabees chapter 13 to be exact. You see what I'm saying? And the Apocrypha is very important. If you have a Bible without the Apocrypha, then your Bible is incomplete. You must have the Apocrypha so you can get the full history, the full understanding of our history. And also, other feast day is included in the Apocrypha. So when you don't have the Apocrypha, you're missing out on important history and other feast days that's listed in it. So I would recommend you guys to get the Apocrypha if you guys don't have it. Okay, so also this feast day is a memorial, not a Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? So this feast day is not like a high holy day or a Sabbath, right? So on this feast day, you still can go to work. You can still handle your business and all of that, but you just have to make sure you're in the mindset of that spirit of, honoring our forefathers, for what they done, how they, had a great victory from their on their enemies, and how the temple was, spared and saved, and how the Most High delivered us from the hands of our enemies. Now, going into the scriptures and historically, we will see that Alexander the Great, right? He conquered the whole entire world at a specific time, at a time period 333 BC, when he smitten Darius, King Darius. He was the king over the Persians and the Medes, right? So when he killed King Darius, he gained control over the whole entire world in 333 BC, right? So he sent men to Jerusalem to destroy the temple. You see what I'm saying? To destroy the temple, to pollute it, to defile it, and to, kill the men of Israel, right? Let me see what else that I have. So in this process, many Israelites, they were destroyed and they were enslaved and they were brainwashed, right? They were brainwashed by Alexander. He wanted to enforce the Greek customs and the Greekish ways to all of the Israelites. You see what I'm saying? So many of the Israelites scattered amongst, the Greek provinces when, Alexander came in, right? So many of the Israelites, they were scattered amongst Greek provinces such as, Egypt, Corinth, Thessalonica, right? And they were then picked up the customs and the ways of the Greeks. So they were called themselves Gentiles and Greeks, right? So this is why we will read later in the New Testament. When we read into the New Testament, we will see the terms, Gentiles and Greeks and all of that. They were Jews that were called themselves Gentiles and Greeks. You see what I'm saying? So when you guys read in the book of Galatians, Galatians chapter 3, or the book of Ephesians, when it speaks about the Greeks, that's referring to the Israelites. You see what I'm saying? So see, the thing we got to realize is that according to history, we went through a Hellenization period, meaning the Israelites, they were being Hellenized by these other nations. You see what I'm saying? So they, like I said, they were being brainwashed, right? They were being forced into their different practices and their religions. You see what I'm saying? That's why when you read in the Bible dictionary, when you look at the word Hellenist, it means a Greek-speaking Jew. You see what I'm saying? So we claimed ourselves as Gentiles and Greeks, in this time. So Mattathias and his son, most importantly, they encouraged the Israelites to remain faithful to the Most High and to fight for these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and not to rely, on the Greeks, on the kingdom of the Greeks, Alexander the Great, and not just Alexander, all the other Greeks that came into power and became as king. He wanted them to refrain from those activities and those ways, right? So he also encouraged the Israelites to fight against their enemies. So any of the enemies, any heathen that tried to go against the Israelites, they were encouraged to fight for the law, statutes, and commandments and against those other nations, right? So as time went by, you had one of our brothers, Judas Maccabeus, right? He decided to go out and, to fight against these other nations. The Most High, he put his spirit and he elected Judas Maccabeus to lead the nation in this time period to go out and fight against them. You see what I'm saying? So he had a good accomplice with that. And this is when he, because they had destroyed the temple, they defiled the temple and the sanctuary and everything. So he ended up rebuilding the temple. He has selected few men to go in there to rebuild the temple, and he selected a few of the Levites to go in there and sanctify, the sanctuary. You see what I'm saying? And then he gave honor and glory to the Most High, and they, dedicated the temple to the Most High. This is going into the Feast of Dedication, a feast day that's founded in the Apocrypha. This is why it's really important to make sure you have the Apocrypha. So that's one of the feast days that's in the Apocrypha. You have Memorial Simon, that could be found in the Apocrypha. You have Feast of Dedication. You also have Destruction of Nicanor. Find it in the New Testament. And those you can find at, let me see. Feast of Dedication, you can find that in 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 52. And then you have Destruction of Nicanor. You can find that in 1 Maccabees chapter 7. You see that? So, as time went by, you see what I'm saying? The Greeks, dealing with their pride, they just couldn't let this happen. So they're like, oh, you know what? We got to go to war with them again. You see what I'm saying? So the Israelites, the 5 sons of Mattathias, they were continually going to war over and over and over and over. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we had to do. We just had to, remain strong and, remain in the spirit of the Most High and just continue to fight for these nations. You see what I'm saying? So the Greeks, they couldn't put up with this, dealing with their pride. So they figured, they had to go back to war with us, like I said. And so we lost a lot of the Israelites. We lost a lot of Israelites in these wars. We lost Simon. He lost some of his brothers, right? So it came down to even Judas Maccabeus. He ended up, getting killed by our enemies. You see what I'm saying? So we lost, a lot of our Israelites. Simon, he lost, a few of his brothers. So it came down to Simon himself and Jonathan. You see what I'm saying? 2 of the sons of Mattathias that was spared from all of this. So we can get into it. Let's get 1 Maccabees chapter 3. I'm going to try to, go through this. So let's read it. 1 Maccabees chapter 13, verse 1. Now when Simon heard that Tryphon is a wicked Edomite, man, this guy, he is a slick, deceitful person. So we're going to read more about this person right here, Tryphon, right? Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea, right, which is in Israel, and destroy it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together, and gave them exhortation, saying, Ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws and the sanctuary, the battles also and troubles which we have seen. So he is having a discussion with all of the Israelites, right? By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. This is what I was saying about earlier. So going through these battles, with our enemies and all that, we may have to lose, some of our brothers. This relates to the time we're living in now, right? All these different Israelite congregations, right? The men of the Lord, the soldiers, right? When we go forth to war, some of us may have to die when we go to war. You see what I'm saying? But the end result of that, we just have to be faithful to the Most High's laws and commandments. That way we can get the kingdom, right? So it says, so Simon, he being left solo now. Verse 5, it says, Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble. You see, I'm going to read that part again, verse 5. So it says, Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble. You see, Simon, we could see the spirit that he had. You see what I'm saying? Simon saying that he wouldn't even try to spare his own life in time of trouble. He want that to be far from him. You see what I'm saying? Because Simon, he was willing to put his life on the line for the Most High's laws and commandments and for his brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? This is the spirit that was behind Simon. You see that? I'm going to get a precept to this. Let's get John chapter 15, verse 13. No, matter of fact, let's get matter of fact, we can get both of those. It says, for I am no better than my brethren. Yeah, we're going to hold that right there. Let's get John chapter 15 and verse 13. You see that? Because this is really important. This is an important scripture. I got a precept to this. John chapter 15 and verse 13. It says, Greater love hath no man than this, that a man laid down his life for his friends. You see what I'm saying? This is the spirit that we got to have amongst all of us, all men of Israel. The scriptures say, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. So the Most High, he takes honor in that. He glorifies in that when he see his sons taking up a life for his brother. You see what I'm saying? Take a bullet for your brother or your sister. The Most High, he honors that. You see what I'm saying? That just shows how much you love your brothers and how much how delight you are in the Most High's laws and commandments. You see what I'm saying? That's like an automatic ticket to the kingdom of heaven right there. You see what I'm saying? So we want to make sure we have that spirit at all times. Because I know we go out there street teaching. It could be dangerous out there when we out there street teaching. You see what I'm saying? We could be out there street teaching on the corners, bringing forth edification to the lost sheep of Israel. And then who knows, somebody from the KKK or the military or from, other nation out there may pull up and try to shoot one of us. And then if you being a brother, right, you being an Israelite, you taking a bullet, protecting your soldiers, your brothers, you taking a bullet for them, the Most High, he gonna honor in that. He gonna hugely take honor in that, and you gonna automatically get a ticket to the kingdom of heaven, I will assume. You see what I'm saying? So another precept for that, let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 50. 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 50. First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 50, it says, "Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law." Now this is Mattathias, right? He is on the deathbed. He was about to pass away. So he's giving wisdom and counseling to his sons, right? And one of the wisdoms that he gave, he said, "Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law." What does the word zealous mean? Zealous, you have the root word zeal in it. And the meaning of the word zeal is having great energy and enthusiasm in a particular cause. And in this talk, and in this cause particularly, this is going into the Most High's laws, statutes, and covenant. He wants us to have great zeal when it comes to this, right? And it says, "And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers." You see what I'm saying? This is wisdom coming from Mattathias. He's telling us to give our lives for these covenant, for this covenant, for these laws, statutes, and commandments. And we clearly see that when you read into First Maccabees, right? When you read into the Maccabees, you will see that the children of Israel, they put their lives on the line for the Most High, and for these laws and commandments. You see what I'm saying? They were at a point, especially the women and the men, they were at a point to where they were being forced to eat swine flesh. Matter of fact, do I have that precept that's in First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 62. It says, "Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat anything unclean." You see what I'm saying? And it says, verse 63, "Wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died." Our people fought and died for these laws, statutes, and commandments. We got to have that same spirit today. We got to have that same spirit today. If Esau, because I know we're dealing with in this time of this pandemic, if it comes to a point where they say, "All right, look, everything's been opened back up," it's unlawful, it's against our laws for you guys to celebrate the Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta fight for that, because we gotta keep the Sabbath. It's written in the Most High's word, and we will have to put our lives on the line. You see what I'm saying? Or if they try to force us eating, unclean things, abominable things, we got to put our lives on the line. We see a perfect example of our forefathers and foremothers. They put their lives on the line for these law, statutes, and covenant. You see what I'm saying? And check this out, verse 60. "At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised." You see what I'm saying? So our women, our foremothers, they were being put to death for circumcising their children, because that is a law written where it states that we are to circumcise our child 8 days from the birth. You see what I'm saying? That is a law right there. So if it comes to a point in time where they say, "Hey, look, it is unlawful for you guys to circumcise your man-child," you see what I'm saying? Your firstborn, not your firstborns, your children. You see what I'm saying? And if you guys go and do that, we're going to put you guys to death. We got to put our lives on the line right there. You see what I'm saying? Are we going, what do Acts 5 and 30 say? We are to obey God. I would say Acts 5, 29 or 30. It said we are to obey God rather than man. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to listen to what man say, or we're going to listen to what the Most High say. So that's what it's all about, taking, following the footsteps of our foremothers and forefathers. So going back to First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 50, it says, "Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers." So just like how they gave their lives up, we got to do the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So we got to train ourselves. We got to get to the mindset, because who knows? We don't know if I might be the one that may have to give my life up. You see what I'm saying? The Most High, it's all according to him and according to his plan. You see what I'm saying? So Going back to 1 Maccabees chapter 13, verse 5. Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. You see what I'm saying? This is the spirit that Simon had. He said, I am no better than my brethren. He had no pride right there. You see what I'm saying? He put himself in form of humility, saying that, hey, look, my brothers out there, Eleazar, Judas Maccabeus, you see what I'm saying? I am no better than them. You see what I'm saying? That just to show that he had no pride right there. He was a very humble brother, right? Verse 6, doubtless I will avenge my nation and the sanctuary and our wives and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. You see what I'm saying? The heathens, they had so much envy and jealousy and hatred towards us. You see what I'm saying? So we were continuously going to war and fighting against these other nations. Verse 7, now as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived, and they answered with a loud voice, saying, thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan, thy brother. You see what I'm saying? Because they were leading Israel at one point in time. When you go into 1 Maccabees 4, you will see that Judas Maccabeus, he is the one he was leading the nation. He was leading the children of Israel. You see what I'm saying? So they're saying that thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan, thy brother. Verse 9, fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou commandest us, that we will do. You see what I'm saying? So they made an agreement. You see what I'm saying? They made an agreement that, hey, look, we feel that, the Most High is dealing with you. You're going to be the one that's going to lead us. We're going to take control. We're going to follow thy word. Anything you commanded us to do, we're going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So this is good right here. So now let's jump down to verse 14. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Jonathan, and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying, whereas we have Jonathan, thy brother, in hold. So they had Jonathan in captivity, right? It is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure, concerning the business that was committed unto him. Wherefore now send 100 talents of silver and 2 of his sons for hostage, that when he is at liberty, he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go. Hereupon Simon, now this is Simon, right? Albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto him, yet sent he the money and the children, lest peradventure he should procure to himself great hatred of the people. Who, verse 18, who might have said, because I sent him not the money and the children, therefore Jonathan is dead. You see what I'm saying? So Simon, he's thinking to himself, he's trying to make a decision. Should he listen to what Tryphon is saying? Should he follow what he's saying? Or should he just, cause it's like he's being in a bad state right now. He's trying to figure out, okay, what should I do? Should I listen to what what Tryphon is saying, and give them 2 children and 100 talents of silver? That way he can bring forth and release Jonathan unto us. Or should I just, keep the 2 children and 100 talents of silver, and just let him keep Simon, because he's going to kill him anyway. You see what I'm saying? But then he had this in mind, because just like what he said, if he didn't give the children and the 100 talents to Tryphon, then the children of Israel would have been on his head. They're like, look, man, now Simon is dead because of you. You should have followed, you should have listened to what Tryphon was saying, and then we would have had Jonathan this very day today. But since you didn't listen to what he's saying, now Jonathan is dead because of you. So Simon is like, you know what? Let me just follow what he said. You know, that way the burden could be off my shoulder. You know, so read verse 19. It says, so he sent them the children and 100 talents. Howbeit Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go. So he straight up scammed Simon. This is why I said Tryphon, he is a wicked and deceitful Edomite, man. I'm telling you, this is an evil person right here. You see what I'm saying? You can't trust this guy, man. I got a precept on that, man. Let's get Proverbs chapter 26, verse 25, man. See, when we deal with, this is why, I'm telling you, this is why the Bible never lies, man. This Bible is so real, man. This is like one of the realest book ever. Let's get Proverbs chapter 26, verse 25. Right? Proverbs chapter 26, verse 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Can't take these guys serious, man. All these heathens, especially Esau and particularly. We can't take them serious. The scriptures say, when he speaketh fair, believe him not. We've been deceived ever since, way before this. We've been deceived by Esau, man, and these other nations. They always say, they always try to make a promise to us as something is going to go good, yet in fact, something goes wrong, the opposite way. This been going on since the beginning of time. If we go back to in the Garden of Eden, right? We go back to the Garden of Eden. We look at Satan. What did Satan say? Because Eve was having a conversation with the serpent, and then Eve was like, the Most High said we can't eat from this tree. This is the forbidden tree of, good and evil, the knowledge of good and evil. And if we eat from this tree, we shall die. And what did the serpent say? You shall not surely die. Right? You shall not surely die. If you eat from this tree, you'll be as gods, knowing good and evil. You will put yourself in a position as a god. You see what I'm saying? He was dealing with Eve because she's the weaker vessel. If he would have went to Adam, Adam would have confounded him like, what? If I ate from this tree, I would be as God? What are you talking about? I'm already a god. You see what I'm saying? So that he wouldn't got away with that with Adam. So he went with Eve, the weaker vessel. You see what I'm saying? So that's just showing you, when he speaketh fair, believe him not. Right? What it say? For there are 7 abominations in his heart. 7. The number of completion. You see what I'm saying? So Esau, being the devil that the Bible speaks of, he have a complete abomination in his heart, in his mind. You see what I'm saying? This is why the Most High, he doesn't want us to be dealing with this man. Right? Another precept, let's get Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. This is another scripture right here. Can't trust these heathens, man. They're like snakes, man. They're like snakes. Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So the scripture is telling us, never trust thy enemy. You see what I'm saying? All of our enemies throughout our past history, we are not to trust them, man. Because when we trust him, what's going to happen? He's going to take advantage of you. He may even kill you. You see what I'm saying? So he's going to deceive you. You see what I'm saying? We look at the time of the Native American Indians. When Christopher Columbus came here, that's our enemy right there. Him being a European descent, that's our enemies right there. And the Native American Indians, they made a big mistake when they felt that, okay, this man is so loving, he's so kind, he could share some of his resources with us. Let's trust this guy. Let's trust him. Let's see what he about. And look what happened. He stabbed them in the back, killed all the Native American Indians, right? He had guns and all of that. The Indians, they had the bows and all of that. He had guns. He was riding up on horses, and he was shooting and killing these Indians. You see what I'm saying? This is why the scriptures say, never trust thy enemies. You see what I'm saying? As iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So going back to 1 Maccabees chapter 13, verse 19. So he sent them the children and the 100 talents, howbeit Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go. So even though Simon followed his command, and he sent them the children and the 100 talents of silver, he refused to let Jonathan go. Right, so let's jump down to verse 23. And when he came near to Bascama, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. So Tryphon ended up killing this man. Killing one of our brothers right there. You see what I'm saying? This is the damn devil that we're dealing with right now. And Tryphon returned and went into his own land. Then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan his brother and buried them in Modin, the city of his fathers. You see what I'm saying? So Simon, he had to go over there and pick up the bones that they buried and bring them back into the holy city where Mattathias and them that was buried in. He buried them right then and there too. You see what I'm saying? So verse 26, and all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind and before. You see what I'm saying? So let's skip through. Let's jump to verse 31. Now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. You see what I'm saying? So not only Tryphon was dealing deceitfully with the children of Israel, he was dealing deceitfully with all the other heathens out there. You see what I'm saying? So it says, now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. And he reigned in his stead and crowned himself king of Asia, and brought a great calamity upon the land. Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea and fenced them about with high towers and great walls and gates and bars, and laid it upon victuals therein. Moreover, verse 34, moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius to the end he should give the land in immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil. So this is why Tryphon was going out sieging different nations, so he could take them, help put them, those men and children and women into captivity, and to take the spoils thereof. Right? So verse 35, unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner, King Demetrius, verse 35, unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner, King Demetrius unto Simon the high priest and friend of kings, as also unto the elders and nation of the Jews, sending greeting. So Simon, he appointed men to write letters to King Demetrius, and King Demetrius, he responded back with letters stating, the golden crown and the scarlet robe which ye sent unto us, we have received, and we are ready to make a steadfast peace with you, yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted. And whatsoever covenants we have made with you shall stand, and the strongholds which ye have builded shall be your own. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, so anything they had, prior to this day, we forgive it. And the crown tax also which ye owe us, If there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid. So they were being free of paying taxes at this point in time. Now, this is only temporary because we go forth in history, we got taxed, So this was just only temporarily. They were being free of taxes. They didn't have to pay taxes at this time. Verse 40, and look who are meet among you to be in our court. Let them be enrolled, and let there be peace between us. Thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 170th year. So they became allies with each other. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. When you a king and you got all the other, that's the ultimate goal right there. You see what I'm saying? The ultimate goal is us as Israelites being ruler of the entire earth, the entire world, and having everybody in accordance with us. You see what I'm saying? Even though they other nations, they still have to be in accordance with us in one. You see what I'm saying? Everybody gonna be following the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's why when we read in the book of Micah, chapter when you read in the book of Micah, you will see that everybody is gonna bow down and serve the children of Israel. You see what I'm saying? Whether they like it or not, because Israel, we're gonna be in power, right? You could find that in the book of let me see if I could get it. You guys can find that in Micah chapter 4, right? You will see that the heathens is going to bow down, and because they're going to see that the Most High, the Almighty, is with the children of Israel. And if they want to spare themselves from death, they're going to have to sojourn themselves to the Israelites and follow them and bow down and serve them. So they're going to be keeping the laws too. You see what I'm saying? So everybody, all nations in this earth is going to bow down and serve the Most High God. You see what I'm saying? So we want to be able to have these other nations to serve us in the kingdom with peace. You see what I'm saying? So this is a head start right here. When you have other nations being allies with you and being on one accordance with you, you see what I'm saying? That's good right there. So verse 42, then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. So Simon, he decided to take control and, to lead the children of Israel. Oh, we already read that in First Maccabees chapter 13, verse 5. Verse 8, when they made an agreement. Now, verse 43. In those days, Simon camped against Gaza and besieged it. Now, Gaza is located in Jerusalem. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city and battered a certain tower and took it. You see what I'm saying? So an engine of war is like a device that was used in ancient time to break down heavy walls and, doors and all of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So this is the device that Simon had, right? And it says, and battered certain tower and took it. So he was using that device to break walls in different cities. In Gaza, to be exact. Verse 44, and they that were in the engine leaped into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city. So the man that was controlling the engine of war, they hopped out of it, and they was trying to get the people in order. Insomuch as the people of the city rent their clothes and climb upon the walls with their wives and children and cry with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. And they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy. So they were pleading with Simon. Verse 47, so Simon was appeased towards them and fought no more against them. but put them out of the city and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered it into it with songs and thanksgiving. So he broke up in there, and he had to get rid of all of the wickedness in there. They had idols. They were going into idolatry, worshiping different idols and all that. So he had to destroy that. And, they had to repent from themselves. You see what I'm saying? Simon, he could have killed all of them, but he spared them. You see what I'm saying? He decided to have compassion upon them. So it was like, all right, we're going to bow down. We're going to submit ourselves to you. You see what I'm saying? Verse 48, yea, he put all uncleanness out of it and placed such men there as would keep the law, righteous men, righteous Israelites that were keeping the law, statutes, commandments, and made it stronger than it was before, and built therein a dwelling place for himself. Verse 49, they also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell, wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and a great number of them perished through famine. Verse 50, then cried they to Simon, beseeching them to be at one with them, which thing he granted them, and when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollution. So they wanted to be at one with them. Just like I said, you got wicked Israelites out there that don't want to repent right now. They all are going to repent. The Israelites and the other nations, they're all going to be at one when we get to the end. Everybody is going to be at one with the Most High's laws, statutes, and commandments. Verse 50. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollution. Verse 51, and entered into it 23 day of the second month, and 171 year, with thanksgiving and branches and palm trees, and with harps and cymbals, and with viols and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. You see what I'm saying? So this is going into it again. The Most High is delivering us from the hands of our enemies. You see what I'm saying? So Simon, he decided to order a feast day, which is called Memorial of Simon, on the 23rd day of the second month. So they dedicated with songs, with all types of musical instruments. We got to do the same thing today. So when Memorial of Simon come forth, we got to, partake in this feast, and we got to, do it with all of our, we got to be in a spirit of gladness, and we got to celebrate it with all different types of musical instruments, songs, and all of that. Verse 52, he ordained also that day shall be kept every year with gladness. So this feast day is to be kept on a yearly base, right? Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company, right? And when Simon saw that John, his son, was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the host, and dwelt in Gazara. You see what I'm saying? So John, being a son of Simon, he was very wise, and he had so much wisdom and counsel in himself. You see what I'm saying? And Mattathias, he already knew that. He already knew the gifts that the Most High gave to his sons. You see what I'm saying? We could find that in First Maccabees chapter, 2? First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 65. It says, and behold. Now let's start at verse 64. It says, wherefore you, my sons, be valiant, and show yourselves men in behalf of the law, for by it shall you obtain glory. Verse 65, and behold, I know that your brother Simon is a man of counsel, Give ear unto him always. He should be a father unto you. You see what I'm saying? Verse 66, as for Judas Maccabeus, he had been mighty and strong. Even from his youth up, let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people. So they all had different gifts. Judas Maccabeus, he had a gift of that warrior spirit. He was a man of war. He had that spirit of going out there to fight and to battle. That's the spirit behind Judas Maccabeus. And the spirit behind Simon was the knowledge and the wisdom and the counsel. You see what I'm saying? When you're in a bad situation, you see what I'm saying? His wisdom and his counsel would be able to provide a answer to that. You see what I'm saying? So going back to when he was being placed at a difficult situation, of him trying to follow what Tryphon would say, or what. So he already had the counsel. He did the right thing at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? So so it says, verse 53, and when Simon saw that John his son was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the host and dwelt in Gazaria. So John, his son, he's following the footsteps of his father. He's having the wisdom and the knowledge and the counseling. He's being in a position to take lead over Gazara. You see what I'm saying? So all praise be to the Most High. So on this feast day, we are to be in remembrance of the hardships that our forefathers went through. You see what I'm saying? This feast day, we are to be in the spirit and in remembrance of how we were delivered from the hand of our enemies. How the Most High, he was always there with us. Every time we went through trouble, we went and we prayed to the Most High delivered us. Every single time. You see what I'm saying? So we have to take this in consideration and acknowledge this. No matter what point in time we're in, all we have to do is pray to the Most High and he will deliver us. Because we're living in 2020 right now. World War III is on the horizon. It's on the horizon. We're going to go to war. Esau is falling. His kingdom is up. So when it's that time for us to go to war, we have to rely on the Most High and his law, statutes, and commandments and pray to him. And I guarantee you, he will deliver us from the hand of Esau, and we're going to take control of this world. We're going to take over. We're going to take this kingdom from him. You see what I'm saying? So being in this memorial assignment, we have to be in the spirit of how our forefathers, they made a great accomplishment on the victories that they had. You see what I'm saying? So all praise be to the Most High. My name is Ikwatazat Tazadak. I hope you guys got edified. Please like, share, subscribe to our channel. Like, share, and comment this video. That way others can get edified out there. And I hope you guys celebrate Memorial of Simon on a yearly basis with a gladness spirit. You see what I'm saying? Teach this to your children. You see what I'm saying? The children, they got to keep it too. You see what I'm saying? So all praise be to the Most High. I hope you guys continue, to subscribe to our channel. That way you guys can give more edification. And with all that being said, I see you guys next time. Shalom.